So here is everybody's favorite headmaster, Dolores Umbridge. I don't know if you know that there was a slight sarcastic undertone in my voice, but just saying. Anyway, a great model from Night Models Wizarding Duels game. And we're gonna paint her today. I primed Dolores Umbridge in a grey tone. I didn't use any zenithals, so just grey, and we're going to use a lot of pink and purples. To start off with is Barracknard Burgundy, which is quite a large part. Basically the entire upper body is covered in this purplish tone, and it might seem a bit dark as she is mainly pink, but we're going to use it as an undercoat and cover it with brighter pink details later on. So trust the process, and well, let's see how it turns out. That's part one. Next I used Emperor's Children, a more pinkish color for the skirt. It's just a small area, and what I like about this model is that I can use a lot of different pink colors, which I don't often use, and I like to make sure that I have many different varieties of pink, as she is one big pink candy in the movies. So the next color is a Cacophony Purple, and I'm going to use it on the legs. It's going to be a base color. We're going to brighten it up a bit further on in this tutorial. That's a nice base coat. I only use it on the legs, so not the shoes, because the shoes, you guessed it, are going to be pink. And for the shoes, I'm going to use Emperor's Children again. Next, I'm mixing Cacophony Purple with Barracknard Burgundy to paint the sleeves under her coat to make it yet another color of purplish pink. What I like about Umbridge in the movies is that she is very she thinks she's very well dressed. It's a bit crazy, of course, because she's in pink, which shows that she has no taste at all with the things she wears. So what you're trying to aim for in this color scheme is many different kinds that sort of fit together, but not really. So that's the reason I used many different varieties of pink and purple. And I think it matches the image from the movie quite nicely. I also did the bag she's holding with the same color. And next I mixed Cacophony Purple with Emperor's Children to create shades in the skirt. So only the recessed areas I touched with a slightly darker tone than the first one. You get some nice shading this way. Next, I'm highlighting the sleeves with a mix of Emperor's Children and Fulgrim Pink. So we're brightening it up, just hitting the raised areas. Gives you a nice highlight. Go very careful, because you do not want to cover the entire sleeve with this color. And next I used pure fulgrim pink as an extreme highlight on the very tips, the very edges of the folds. I used the same color also on the purse. Start with the previous mix, Emperor's Children Fulgrim Pink, and brighten it up as you go. And next is Cacophony Purple with Fulgrim Pink on the entire upper coat. The edges, how do you call these? Brims or thistles? I don't know, I'm not sure what the English word is. The little thingies in below. Take your time and just touch them individually to create a nice row of detailed colors, leaving the darker purple of the burgundy below. Now the next part is quite time consuming because we're going to cover the entire coat with horizontal lines as I did here. And I did not go very precisely, so at some points they are thicker, some points they're thinner, but that's the idea. In the end it seems to be a knitted vest of sorts. So what I did is create some vertical lines on the horizontal lines and create a nice pattern. You can do it however you see fit. I use it one line. I did 2 vertical lines, and the line above and below I did the vertical line in the middle of the previous horizontal line. Do you know what I'm saying? I think I'm making this more difficult than it should be. But anyway, create a nice pattern so it seems knitted. You can see the result and see for yourself. On the legs, I used the same mix, so Cacophony Purple and Fulgrim Pink, to create a highlighted layer. I repainted most of it as I wanted them to be a bit brighter, but you can leave some shaded areas just at the point where the legs enter the shoe, so you get a nice instant shading. You can do the same just below the skirt. So leave some of the previous color or work with a thinned down version of this mix so you can get a sort of shading effect. And now with pure Fulgrim Pink, I'm trying at least to create a pattern on the skirt. And I did it with some diagonal lines crossing each other. You can go for whatever you want. Or if you're too afraid to make tiny details, just use it as a highlight color. Touch the edges of the skirt, maybe create some highlighted edges on the folds. I like to have a pattern on the skirt, so I did both. And here's the results. Now it's time for the face, and I used Night Questor Flesh as a base color. It's kind of a dark base color, but I think it works quite nice. Make sure to use it on the hands, the fingers, and the face. Before I continued on the face, I used palette witch flesh to paint in the eyes. And the reason I do this in an early stage is that you can make corrections if you've touched too much of the eye with the base color. I used Abaddon Black to create a pupil. Which I think turned out quite nice. And next is the first highlight color, Cadian Flesh Tone. And since it's a highlight, leave those dark recessed areas between the fingers and just touch the top. Touch the top of the fingers, and next on the face, the raised areas, and leave some of the dark shining through around the lips, the cheeks, her forehead, and the sockets of the eyes. Leave them nice and dark. If you think you need a second or third layer, just build it up very slowly. Thin down your paints and make sure to get the effect you want. Last highlight is Kissel of Flesh. Touch the knuckles on the hands, parts of the raised areas, the nose, the chin. And that's it, we're nearing completion. Next up is a hair and the base. We're going to cover both with Steel Legion Drab. A nice brown base color. Be very careful not to hit the previously painted face, of course, or coat. I did the base with the same color, and now we're going to highlight the hair with Baylor Brown, which is a bit more yellow. Just touch the strings of hair, leave the dark shining through. And when you're done with this, let it dry, and in the meanwhile, cover the coat with some Druchii Violet. I used a very thinned down version of Druchii Violet to blend in all the purple and pinks together for the coat, the purse, the shoes. I didn't do the legs. And after that, I used Agrax Earthshade on the hair to create some nice blend of the brown colors. Final details on the base, which I also covered with Agrax Earthshade before. I'm now creating some lines, the edges of the stones with Karak Stone. And that covers this tutorial. When done, you should have something like this. I really love the pinks, the differentiation in colors, and it sort of fits together, which is basically her character. Thank you so much for watching this movie again, and I hope to see you in one of my next tutorials. Bye bye!